What's up, my fellow Hammer? Welcome back to another video on our channel. Make sure you smash that like button right now, drop your comments below and share your thoughts. That's how we keep the claret and blue spirit alive, making West Ham bigger and stronger every day. Now let's get into today's video because things are really heating up. The pressure on Graham Potter is reaching increasingly unsustainable levels at West Ham United. The manager believed that the surprising 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest before the international break could be the turning point of the season, but the heavy home defeat to Tottenham by the same score showed that the problems go far beyond a single isolated spark. Potter's post-match speech tried to bring some calm. He spoke about the need for unity, about keeping focus on the positives and correcting the mistakes. However, this tone of patience no longer convinces either the fans or the board. After all, since taking charge in January, the 50-year-old coach has had both the time and even the freedom to shape his squad. But the results on the pitch are worrying: less than 1 point per game on average, and only a 27% win rate, the second worst among all West Ham managers in the Premier League era. In this climate of instability, rumors of change are gaining strength. The West Ham board, particularly David Sullivan, is already looking at alternatives on the market, and according to behind-the-scenes information, one name in particular stands out. It is a manager who built his reputation in the Premier League itself, where he showed the ability to turn unfancy squads into competitive teams. His pragmatic style, based on solid defenses and quick transitions, is seen as exactly what West Ham currently lacks: a team that struggles to find balance between attack and defense. This manager, praised by international analysts and considered incredible for his recent work in England, even managed to take a relegation-threatened side into European competitions in a short space of time. Recognized for his tactical discipline and his ability to get the best out of players who are not considered stars, he quickly earned respect in the British game. Journalists such as Fabrizio Romano and Sky Sports pundits highlighted his capacity to reinvent clubs in crisis, portraying him as someone who knows how to deal with pressure and challenging environments. The experience of this coach is not limited to a single club. He has managed in different Premier League contexts, knowing both the weight of leading traditional squads and the responsibility of elevating more modest projects. His journey, marked by highs and lows, reveals someone capable of learning from mistakes and who now enters the market valued after an impressive recovery in his most recent job. Only after gathering all these attributes does it become clear who we are talking about. Nuno Espirito Santo. The Portuguese, formerly of Wolverhampton, Tottenham and Nottingham Forest, emerges as a natural candidate for the role should Graham Potter be dismissed. For Sullivan, the chance to bring in a manager with his profile could represent the beginning of a turnaround. Nuno's success at the City Ground was so striking that analysts such as Sky Sports Sam Obaski described his work as an incredible. Recognition also came from international journalists, including Fabrizio Romano, who highlighted the Portuguese manager's ability to reinvent discredited teams. This track record, combined with established Premier League experience, makes him a natural candidate to take over a West Ham side that now dangerously flirts with the relegation zone, sitting 18th with 3 defeats in 4 matches. From a tactical perspective, Nuno tends to set up compact sides with solid defensive blocks and fast transitions. This was how he achieved impressive results with Wolves, taking the club back into European competition after decades. His pragmatic approach contrasts with Potter's more patient and positional style, which could offer West Ham an immediate competitive jolt. Although not known for delivering dazzling football, the Portuguese has a history of getting the most out of limited squads, a trait that could prove vital for the Hammers amid their relegation fight. However, choosing Nuno is not without risks. His spell at Tottenham, albeit brief, raised doubts about his ability to cope with higher pressure environments and more star-studded squads. In addition, his relationship with executives can become strained, as was seen in his recent departure from Forest after internal disagreements. Even so, for a club in trouble, the balance tends to tilt more towards the need for immediate results than the construction of a long-term project. The board's dilemma, therefore, is clear: persist with Potter in the hope that his work gains consistency, or act quickly and bet on Nuno as an emergency solution. Each round carries more weight, and the current position in the table leaves no room for mistakes. A poor start could compromise the entire season, making a recovery increasingly difficult. For David Sullivan, known for decisions that are often unpopular but direct, this could be an opportunity to show firmness. If he truly believes that Nuno is the right choice, he will need to move quickly, as other clubs will surely be monitoring the Portuguese manager's recent work. Delaying a decision could mean losing the candidate and at the same time further straining the atmosphere with fans who are already showing clear signs of impatience. West Ham find themselves at a crossroads, continue sinking with a project that has not taken off or seek a change capable of bringing immediate impact. Nuno Espirito Santo appears as the name that combines experience, a track record of revival, and knowledge of the league. If Sullivan opts for this gamble, he could be opening a new chapter in East London. If he decides to wait, he risks seeing the club drift further into instability, and in the worst case scenario, desperately battling relegation once again. Before we carry on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This is really important because it strengthens the Claret and Blue family, making our West Ham bigger and stronger every day. The speculation surrounding West Ham's future is not limited to the name of Nuno Espirito Santo. The pressure on Graham Potter grows with each round and now affects not only the club's inner workings but also the betting market, which has made him the favorite in the so-called sack race, the contest to see which Premier League manager will be the next to be sacked. This external perception is a thermometer of how serious the situation has become. When the odds collapse, it signals a consensus that change is imminent. Potter remains in the job, but many believe his survival depends on a single result. The match against Crystal Palace next weekend is seen as a turning point. Another defeat could be the final straw, forcing the board to act swiftly. The pressure does not come only from supporters, but also from within the club itself, where there is recognition of the manager's struggle to bring consistency to a project started less than a year ago, but already showing clear signs of fatigue. Among the names speculated as successors, Kieran McKenna has drawn the most attention recently. The Ipswich Town manager, riding high after a 5-0 win over Sheffield United, was reportedly seen in the director's box at the London Stadium during the defeat to Tottenham. His presence was interpreted as a sign of mutual interest, especially as he is a young coach on the rise, admired for his attacking and modern style. However, sources close to the club were quick to cool this possibility. Questioned by the portal, Claret Hugh, a trusted contact, insisted that McKenna is not under consideration to take over at West Ham. The mere suggestion that he could be the next manager was described as hilarious by the source, who expressed surprise at the origin of the rumor. Furthermore, there was no official confirmation that the Ipswich boss was actually at the stadium, reinforcing the idea that his link to the Hammers is nothing more than speculation. Another name that always surfaces when there is turbulence at big Premier League clubs is Jose Mourinho. With his winning history in England, it is natural for him to be mentioned whenever a high-profile job is under threat. However, this time the situation is different. Internal sources guarantee that the Portuguese is not in West Ham's plans, ruling out the possibility of negotiations. Despite his experience and record, Mourinho does not seem to fit the profile the board is looking for at this moment. These denials make it clear that for now only one candidate truly remains in contention, Nuno Espirito Santo. The most consistent reports suggest that David Sullivan is an admirer of the Portuguese's recent work, particularly the transformation he achieved at Nottingham Forest. Nuno proved capable of taking over struggling teams and lifting them to unexpected levels, such as securing a place in European competitions. This crisis specialist profile fits perfectly with West Ham's current situation, languishing in the relegation zone after 3 defeats in 4 games. The choice of Nuno, however, is not only a technical matter but also a strategic one. Sullivan knows the supporters are at breaking point and that patience is wearing thin. Keeping Potter after another defeat could be interpreted as weakness or stubbornness, increasing the pressure on the board. Acting quickly and bringing in a manager already tested in the Premier League could send a message that a club is willing to change course before it is too late. The dilemma is clear: give Potter more time, risking sinking further down the table, or gamble on an immediate change with all the risks it carries. After all, change in manager early in the season can bring a positive impact, but it can also generate instability if the choice proves wrong. Uncertainty is part of the process, but the current situation demands firm decisions. Meanwhile, the fans watch with skepticism. The stands at the London Stadium have already shown their discontent, whether through boos or early exits in recent defeats. The atmosphere, which is already less hostile than it once was at Upton Park, becomes even colder when the team fails on the pitch. This loss of connection between club and supporters is perhaps Sullivan and the board's greatest challenge to win back the Hammer faithful amid a turbulent backdrop. West Ham's immediate future seems to depend on just a few days. The match against Crystal Palace will be more than just another Premier League fixture. It could become the final chapter of Potter's tenure in East London. Should that happen, the club will have to act quickly to secure a successor capable of restoring not only results but also the fans' trust and the team's identity. Nuno Espirito Santo appears as a natural favorite, but the market is always moving and any hesitation could open the door for competition. In summary, the Hammers are in a critical position where every decision carries double weight. The bookmakers already treat Potter's exit as a matter of time. Speculation runs rife behind the scenes, and the supporters are clamoring for change. It is up to the board to decide whether this will be the moment to turn the page or whether they will persist with a project that has so far shown no signs of progress.